Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my smite guide for SunWukong the Monkey God. Now, ha 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 ha. Okay, so if you guys didn't know, SunWukong is one of the starting characters that you automatically have unlocked, and he's very, very good for that reason. He's also an extremely good character to learn first because he hits very, very hard. Now, one big thing about him is he's very situational. You need to know when and where to use his abilities. Specifically, Furious Monkey. You're going to level Furious Monkey first because situationally it's the hardest hitting single ability in the game. Now, for this to be effective, basically what needs to happen is you need to have 2 enemy gods, and they need to be within close proximity with no creeps around, which is very, very likely in the beginning of the game. Before creeps even spawn, it's only going to be 2 heroes. So, when you're playing SunWukong, you're always going to be in a dual lane. You're never going to go mid. That's just how you play this character. He's also very good in team fights for Furious Monkey reasons. Now, if you're in a dual lane and you've got 2 enemy gods and they're stupid enough to overextend before the creeps come, it does tons of damage and really opens up the lane for early ganks. Okay, so leveling. You're going to max out Furious Monkey first, obviously, because of all the reasons I just said. Second, you're going to go into Overhand Smash. It's just a basic cone of damage right in front of you. It's really good for ganks, massive damage. Also, when you use Overhand Smash, you keep traveling in the direction that you're moving, so you can move while doing it, and that's really nice. And third, but not least, is Somersault. Actually, it is least, but it is probably the most utility effective ability that he has. It's basically just a giant leap. You're not going to max it out first because half the time you're going to be using it for travel, half the time you're going to be using it for retreat, and that other half of the time that would make it more than 150% would be for damage. So you're not going to max out first because damage means nothing when you're using it for those other reasons. And then last but not least, max out Year of the Monkey with points in it as often as possible, just because it's your ultimate. Now another nice little trick you can do with Year of the Monkey is when you're coming into a lane for a gank out of the jungle and you see that there's 2 enemies and they're next to a bunch of creeps, drop that. It'll kill the creeps for you. You just wait about 2 seconds, then you do your Furious Monkey and it will jump between gods. Instead of jumping from god to creep to creep to creep to creep to go to one other god, you'll actually hit both those gods 2 to 3 times with the Furious Monkey and normally score some kills. And it's very easy to do with Year of the Monkey because they will be in a fear and their travel path is very predictable. They'll just be basically running in a straight line. Gear wise, number 1, very important, you're going to go Heartseeker. You go Heartseeker because of his passive. His passive gives you 10% run speed whenever you're not in combat. So you don't need boots with this guy. Heartseeker is very good. If you turtle, it gives you a massive amount of power early in the game. Very good for early ganks, good for Furious Monkey attacks. Second, Executioner, early armor pen, heavy attack speed. Third, Deathbringer. By this time, you're going to be in jungle mode. He's a very good jungler because Furious Monkey jumps between those 3 mobs extremely effectively. So Deathbringer is going to give you those heavy hitting buffs that you need to get in and get the buffs quickly without having to use your mana. Fourth, Quinn Blades. While stacking attack speed, this can hit hard, changes your attacks up a little bit, and gives it extra magic damage. That extra 10% health that you deal to the enemy is magic damage with this ability, or with this item. Fifth, Ankh of the Golem. You start to feel you're starting to build your lifesteal for the late game, because in the late game you're going to get Ankh of the Golem and Soul Eater, and you can use these 2 items to solo Gold Fury and Fire Giant by yourself with no problem. You can probably do it without them, but it keeps building on what you're doing. You're going attack speed. It gives you that lifesteal so you can stay in the fight a little bit longer. Alright guys, so if you like this guide, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be covering a lot more Smite. I'm going to try and make my niche in the Smite community, become that Smite guy on YouTube. I've got a couple of other Realm directors that are going to be stepping in with me. I'm going to be doing a lot of co-op guides. Coming up next is going to be Sobek Anubis. I know they nerfed him a little bit, but he's still overpowered. Peace.